Tonight I'm going to start doing this 6-liter that I've had on the stand. It's technically already sold, but the goal here is to document the entire process, so you guys get an idea of what goes on, the condition that they're in when I get them, what they look like. Probably be a few days, but I'm going to work on this one until it's done. It looks like a dog's breakfast at the moment, but all the bones are there, and we'll clean this up. This one's getting a few new parts on it as well, and I'll be basically discovering what it needs and to clean it up as I go along. Mark's excited to do the project with his boys, and I'm stoked as well just to be a small part of that. And we're going to document it, and he'll have that to keep with him, and you guys will come along for the ride. So I'm going to keep it as short as possible and just jump back in every time I do something worth recording and mentioning. So right off the hop, like I said, it is a mess. Everything is here though, like all the hoses, the wiring. This is going to get converted to drive-by cable. It's drive-by wire at the moment. So that means that the computer is going to get reflashed. It's going to get a cable, throttle body, everything else that it might need. EGR block off, evap block off, that kind of stuff. If the alternator doesn't work, it's going to get replaced. If the starter doesn't work, it's going to get replaced. All the injectors are going to get serviced. Crossover tube is going to go through the electrolysis tank and cleaned up. Everything is going to get done, and you're going to see that from beginning to the end. Okay, strip down the engine. Got the harness off. Look things over. Things look good. Nothing seized. Pull the plugs out. The plugs look great. It's all hooked up to battery. Bad news is starter's toast. So Mark gets a new starter. Spark plugs look really good, actually. I'll just show you one of these. Spark plug looks great. Haven't done a compression test yet because I need a starter. I need to order a fuel regulator. I already have the harness. So anyways, that's the end of this night. It's late. Got to be on the road tomorrow. Pick up more engines. To be continued. I'll be getting a new throttle body. When I get the parts, I'll post up the numbers. Put those in another video, add it all together. Good start. Another shot of the aftermath. It's good. I'm happy so far with the progress. All right, welcome back, everyone. New starter got delivered, and we're going to do a compression test to make sure this is healthy before we move any further. Hey guys, good morning. This is the electrolysis tank that I have, and I use this to clean the crossover tubes. Let me just turn it off. This has been in overnight, and I'm not going to explain what electrolysis does. There's lots of YouTube videos on that, but basically it turns into rust oxide. It all comes off pretty easy, like a paste, and any heavy stuff just flakes off. So now I'll just wire wheel this off Just wipe it down, actually. Even use the blow gun. Here's another good example. Just sort of rubs off on your finger. That's the rust that's turned into oxide. I'll clean this up, and then I'll clean it from the inside as well, and paint her up. And so that's done as well. That'll prevent you from getting any misfire codes. That'll prevent you from losing an investment on a good set of injectors. That'll prevent you from, you know, after you get a set of factory injectors cleaned up, that'll prevent that from plugging that up and getting P03 codes or P300 codes, misfire codes. Here's a quick shot of doing a compression check. All the plugs are out. The throttle body is propped open, so we don't create any resistance. I'm just going to go through them and I record the compression in each cylinder, and then that gets passed on to the person that gets the engine, so they know what they're working with as well. Okay, we'll just do one here real quick. I did see 180, but we'll call that 179. And the results are in. Here's all the information up top. It made 50 pounds of pressure at idle. Obviously, with that low K on it, I expect this to be really healthy. And here are the compression numbers. All super tight, really high. 188,000 kilometers. I didn't expect anything different. Probably the best engine that I've recorded so far. And that's it. That's compression testing. Here's the new harness that's going on the engine. Instructions, material, fuse panel. Okay, so now the harness is on and I've got things all hooked up, fuel lines hooked up. I'm gonna start it up for you guys, and I've already started it. I already did a first start, so this isn't a first start, but it's misfiring, and I want to show you it's misfiring. And here's what I haven't done. I haven't checked every coil pack. I haven't checked the injectors, so that's next. And this is the point I'm making, is that, you know, you get this engine home, you manage to get it fired, and now it's misfiring. So now you got to chase this down as well. Granted, I mean, this engine has low kilometers, so the coil packs are in excellent shape. But you're probably going to change the plugs. You're probably going to change wires. Just give it a bit of a tune-up. But I'm going to chase all that down so that when Mark does get it, it is not popping, it's not farting, it's not misfiring. I brought it here to the edge of the driveway, or the edge of the garage here, so I don't smoke myself out, but I'll fire it up. Check for leaks, of course. There are no leaks. Returnless system, Corvette filter regulator. Super cold. I don't run it very long because no cooling, obviously. That's the first start, and I don't have a mass airflow sensor on it yet. So that's the first start. Now chase down misfires and to service injectors and whatnot. I'm going to put a mass airflow sensor on it to make sure that it works, the throttle works and that kind of stuff. So there it is, converted from drive-by-wire to drive-by-cable. Flashed, has an 01 6-liter. There's the aftermarket harness. OBD2 port is already set up. It's right there. Yeah, they work. All right, you can see I got the spark tester all set up. I just checked these three. Nothing too exciting here. Just turn on the ignition. I don't think the camera's picking that up well, but I saw on the viewer that there was a couple of flashes. When I look at the spark plug off the camera, it's flashing. So I'm going to check the rest of them. These four are okay. I'll check the other side. Okay, so here we are now on the bench. The injectors and the rails out. I'm going to take the injectors out, and then I'm going to run every injector on this machine. That's going to tell me if they're flowing well. That's going to tell me if they're flowing at all. And whatever I can't recondition, I'll replace. And that way Mark gets a good set of injectors so we don't have any misfires. You crack the throttle, it's falling on its face and it seems to be misfiring. So I'm going to guess that there's a problem with the injectors, either frozen permanently or they just need to be cycled through a bunch of times. So just another step to make sure that we get a good running engine here before we stab it in the project. And the whole point of all this is just to avoid the letdown when you twist the key for the first time after you spent all that time and money putting it in. So all right, I'm gonna take this apart and then I'll come back and show you something more exciting. So here we are all hooked up. I've got 4 injectors in the machine, and basically I'm just gonna run a cycle through them and see what we get. There's our fuel pressure. It's turned up pretty good. There's 3 injectors injecting. One of them is dead. Not doing nothing. So there's one misfire. There's one problem that we've avoided. Alright, out of the hop. There we have one dead injector. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lead from the dead injector and I'm going to plug it into these 4. And when I plug them in, I should hear them clicking when I turn this back on. And I'm going to start this so I get these 3 going. And I hear a clicking sound out of this one. So this one's good, or at least this one works. Here we are, we're all set up with 4 injectors in the machine, and we're just going to let her rip and see what happens here at an idle. I've got some controls down here. I can run different pulses for different times, simulate different things like revving up, idling, up and down, throttle passes kind of thing, different times and whatever. All I'm going to do here is just turn it on and see what happens. This little dial up here is the pressure gauge. I can increase and decrease pressure. Sometimes if they're a little stubborn, I just bump up the pressure a little bit. And we're just going to see what happens here. Another shot of the injectors working, and they're working at pressure around 50 or 60 pounds of pressure. About 58, somewhere in there, 58, 60 pounds of pressure. I think that's what the Corvette regulator is rated at, 58 pounds actually. So I'll just run these for 10 minutes. I don't know if you can see the spray pattern. Hard to see on the camera. I don't think the frame rate is high enough. And again, all we're trying to do here is get a working set of injectors, nothing high performance, it's just all stock stuff. But we want to just make sure that there's no misfires like there was. So there was 3 dead injectors out of 8, and this is only a 188K engine. It just depends on how long they sit for. It doesn't take long for the fuel to gum up and wreck a set of injectors. So if you have a vehicle sitting over the winter, like I do, actually, there's a good chance I've got injector issues. There are 3 injectors in the background there, dead, 8 good ones going back in. And here's the finished product, guys. It's all done. So the injectors have been serviced. All the ignition works. Checked it all for plugs are there. Are all there. The wires are good. Again, the person that's going to get this engine is probably going to replace all the wires, all the plugs, do a tune-up on it. But the bottom line is, it's wired. It's fired. I'm going to start it one more time, but not going to run it very long because I don't want to run these dry. No cooling. All right, here we go. There it is. There you go, Mark. 188,000 K, 6-liter LQ4 on the stand, wired and fired. Hope you guys enjoyed this little video. Yeah, it gives you an insight to what I do to these. And you're not just buying an engine off some dude's garage floor and then you got to sort out all the gremlins. This is all done for you. And then when you take it home and fire it up, it's not tuned or anything. It's just enough to get you fired, and then it's enough to get you onto a trailer, possibly down the road once it's all hooked up to get it to your tuner. Your tuner will find you 50, 60 horsepower just on a tune alone, and he's going to turn off anything that you don't need, change some values, do whatever, fan temps, all that stuff. A good tuner is worth his weight in gold. Again, you know, if you're paying 5, 6, 7, whatever amount of dollars for a tuner, what's it going to cost you? If he finds you 50 horsepower, that's how much a mild cam upgrade gets you, and that's $600-700 on its own for a mild cam. And that's if you don't do anything else but just jam that camshaft in there and button back up, do the old no look. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment or DM me directly. Phone number is 905-261-2280 for availability, what's in stock for your LS swap. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.